If you've been calling yourself lazy, you might actually be working very hard, just at the wrong thing. And that misunderstanding might be what's exhausting you. Most people don't wake up wanting to waste their lives. They don't decide to be unmotivated. They don't choose to feel stuck, distracted, or heavy. But somewhere along the way, something isn't working turned into something is wrong with me. And that's a costly mistake. Laziness is a moral label, not a diagnosis. It assumes you have energy, clarity, and desire, and you're just refusing to act. But most people who feel lazy actually care deeply. They feel guilt, they feel pressure, they feel behind. And here's the tell. If you were truly lazy, you wouldn't feel ashamed about it. Guilt is effort that has nowhere to go. So if you're constantly tired but not actually resting, that's not laziness, that's friction. Disengagement is what happens when your mind can't find meaningful contact with what's in front of it. You still have energy, you still have curiosity, you still have depth, but none of it is being used in a way that feels real. You can scroll for an hour without thinking, then suddenly spend 3 hours at midnight researching something obscure, not because you're distracted, but because something finally has depth. That's not a lack of focus. That's focus, waiting for something worthy of it. Your energy didn't disappear. It went underground. There are a few common reasons this happens. The first is a meaning deficit. You're doing things because you're supposed to, because they look responsible, because they make sense on paper. But your nervous system doesn't move on logic alone, it moves on meaning. When meaning is outsourced, motivation collapses. The second is a depth mismatch. This isn't about being smarter than anyone else, it's about unused capacity. Your mind wants complexity, your environment offers repetition, your mind wants to explore, your environment asks you to maintain. Unused capacity doesn't rest, it disengages. And the third is chronic overstimulation. Too much input, too much novelty, too little nourishment. When everything is slightly interesting, nothing is engaging. And when nothing is engaging, everything feels heavy. Here's where things usually go wrong. Instead of getting curious, we get harsh. We call ourselves lazy, undisciplined, broken. And for a moment, that feels productive, like we're holding ourselves accountable. But shame doesn't generate energy. It burns it. You can't threaten yourself into engagement. Self-attack doesn't create momentum, it creates paralysis. And the more you shame yourself, the harder it becomes to tell what's actually wrong. So let's be clear about something. This isn't permission to avoid your life. It's an invitation to understand why it feels heavy. Re-engagement doesn't start with discipline, it starts with contact. Lower the stakes. Stop demanding full motivation before you begin. Instead of asking, why can't I make myself do this? Try asking, what part of me is resisting? And what does it need? Often, the resistance isn't against effort, it's against emptiness. Create depth before you demand consistency. Depth creates energy. Discipline sustains it. Reverse that order and you get burnout. Motivation follows contact, not pressure. So if you've been calling yourself lazy, pause before you accept that story. You might not be broken, you might be disengaged. And disengagement isn't a character flaw, it's information. It tells you something important about your environment, your values, and the parts of you that haven't been met yet. This week, don't try to be more productive. Be more honest. Notice what drains you. Notice what wakes you up. That's where your energy is trying to return.